For centuries, humanity has been told a singular narrative about death, that it is the absolute end. Religions provide comforting myths, while mainstream science insists that consciousness ceases the moment the body stops functioning. But what if neither of these perspectives tells the full story? What if there is a hidden truth, one that has been quietly buried in classified documents and government research? Declassified reports suggest that intelligence agencies have known for decades that consciousness is not confined to the body. These documents don't speculate. They assert that death is not an ending, but a transformation. The implications of this are staggering, shaking the very foundation of what we think we know about reality, control, and human existence. Once you understand what has been deliberately concealed, your entire perspective on life and death will change forever. For decades, intelligence agencies like the CIA have been conducting secretive research into human consciousness, exploring what happens beyond the physical realm. These projects were not undertaken for philosophical curiosity. They had strategic objectives. If consciousness could exist beyond death, if the mind could separate from the body and operate beyond time and space, then what else could it do? Could individuals be trained to perceive information from afar, manipulate reality, or access knowledge hidden from the physical senses? One of the most significant declassified reports that support this theory is the Gateway Process, a once classified CIA document that details methods for expanding human awareness beyond the physical body. This research revealed something extraordinary. The human mind is not just a byproduct of the brain. It exists on an entirely different plane, independent of time and space. The Gateway Process was designed as a training program to help individuals reach altered states of awareness, allowing them to explore dimensions beyond the material world. Developed by the Monroe Institute, the program used specific sound frequencies to synchronize the brain's hemispheres, inducing an out-of-body experience. Those who underwent the training reported floating outside their physical form, traveling across distances instantly, and even accessing higher states of reality. This was not myth or speculation. The government took this research seriously, investing time and resources into understanding whether these altered states could be used for espionage, intelligence gathering, and even manipulating perception itself. The implications of this were immense. If human consciousness could separate from the body, then death was not an end, but merely a shift in awareness. If the truth about consciousness and death were to become mainstream knowledge, it could dismantle one of the most fundamental control mechanisms in modern society: fear. Fear of death is one of the most powerful tools used to keep populations obedient, following rules, and maintaining order within established institutions. Imagine if people no longer feared death, if they knew that their awareness would persist beyond the physical world. Would they still be easily manipulated? Would they still conform to systems designed to keep them afraid? The ability to control perception is the ability to control reality itself. This is why such information has been suppressed. Governments, religious institutions, and corporate entities rely on the fear of death to sustain their influence. If people understood that their consciousness was eternal, the entire foundation of social, economic, and political control could crumble overnight. One of the most compelling arguments for the survival of consciousness beyond death comes from quantum physics and the fundamental laws of energy. Science has long established that energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed. If consciousness is a form of energy, an intricate, organized field of awareness, then by this law, it cannot simply cease to exist when the body dies. This aligns with many ancient teachings that describe death not as an end, but as a transition. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, for example, details how consciousness continues through various states after the body's demise, navigating different realms of existence. Similarly, Hindu and Buddhist traditions speak of reincarnation, the idea that consciousness is continuously reborn, carrying lessons from one life to the next. But what if these beliefs were not just religious concepts, but scientific truths that have been deliberately hidden? If death is not the end, then what does that say about life? Some scientists and researchers have proposed that our entire reality may be a projection of consciousness, a holographic experience where physical matter is merely a construct created by the mind. According to this theory, the moment of death does not mean going somewhere, but waking up to a greater level of awareness. Near-death experiences, NDEs, reported by thousands of individuals around the world, suggest that consciousness expands rather than vanishes at the moment of death. Many describe seeing their lives as a simultaneous tapestry rather than a linear progression, suggesting that time itself is an illusion. This is eerily similar to what was uncovered in the Gateway process. The CIA's research suggested that in higher states of consciousness, individuals could experience reality beyond the constraints of time, seeing the past, present, and future as interconnected. If true, this challenges everything we assume about existence itself. Based on both ancient wisdom and modern research, the moment of death could be described not as an ending, but as a shift in frequency. The physical body ceases to function, but consciousness transitions to another state of being, one that exists beyond time and space. People who have had near-death experiences often report a sensation of leaving the body and observing their surroundings from above, moving through a tunnel of light, often described as overwhelmingly peaceful and familiar, encountering beings of light or deceased loved ones, suggesting that consciousness persists beyond individual identities. A life review where past experiences are understood in a new, profound way, not as judgment, but as an opportunity for growth. These reports mirror what the Gateway process described, an expansion of awareness rather than cessation. If consciousness is truly independent of the body, and if death is merely a transition rather than an end, then the implications for how we live our lives are enormous. You're not merely a physical being, you are an eternal consciousness temporarily experiencing this reality. This is only the beginning. The rabbit hole goes much deeper, and the next revelations could change everything you think you know about existence itself.